Hello and welcome back to the Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. So we are now in the final stretch of the game, and this is the inner keep of Ganon's castle. So this is honestly not that tough of an area. I'm literally just fighting the bats while I get my thoughts collected on this. You can completely ignore them altogether. So what's going to happen through the inner keep is we're going to have these circular rooms, and as we go through, the enemies will get progressively tougher. So it's a lot less dungeon crawly kind of deal, and now just kind of a final battle of attrition. That is probably the most difficulty I've had with the Dynalphos in a long time, and especially in this room. So clearly having to narrate as I go is throwing some things off. And it's done that for a few things through this playthrough. That's one thing I've learned about doing a playthrough. So now we have the boss key, and we have two Stalfos. So just like when they're in pairs before, you generally... That quick spin, by the way, was a complete accident that I didn't even get anywhere close. I don't know why it registered that I did a quick spin. Yeah, if you ever see me do a quick spin, good chance it was an accident. So, yeah, with those guys, just like any other pair of Stalfos that you've run, yeah, Stalfos. When you go to defeat them, you want to beat them quickly, because if you don't, then the first one will revive while you're fighting the second one and just drag on the battle. So, yeah, as always, you just want to kind of do those quickly. And now we have White Knuckle and a Black Knuckle. Now, you can fight these guys individually. Again, as always, you can walk right up to them. They're not going to do anything. The second I swing my sword, it's on. You can fight them individually, and I'm not going to. Whoa! So yeah, now I'm going to have two of these guys to pay attention to. Not that I think I've done this before, and it's actually not that big of a deal. So with double power, if you notice, that's 3 hearts right there. Oh, wrecked. As it's actually not that bad. Again, if you've got the big Goron sword, a lot of fights are a lot easier. Yeah, that was fun. That was cool. I wish you had more opportunities to do something like that. Yeah, I got caught mid... Oh, the 3-hour challenge. So yes, even with the defensive power, the Iron Knuckles absolutely they have the ability to one-shot you, so yeah, just be very mindful of that. If you're on a 3-heart challenge, it can be pretty easy for you to go down if you make a mistake. So what we have over here is just stuff, just a bunch of pots. They'll have rupees, magic, or no, I don't think they'll have magic in them. Because, spoiler alert, we're about to get a heal up, so, yeah. Climb the stairs. As you've noticed, the background music, the organ that's playing in the back, as we climb up, gets louder and louder and louder. And now that we're on the final staircase, nice and long and winding, a big old door right here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to save up here, because this game is weird with how it handles the saves. And yeah, we're going to go through. And it's going to go to the final cutscene before the battle with Ganondorf. Okay, so now we have started the battle with the Great King of Evil, Ganondorf. First thing that you do, get to the edge of the room. Because yeah, what he's going to do, he's going to knock out some of the floor around that center pillar. And you're going to kind of have a tennis match with him. Because that was going to happen. Now you cannot Z target him. That's what Navi was talking about. She said you can't get close. So you're kind of doing this completely free. Now, it's a pretty simple battle. It's honestly not that tough. I say as I'm beginning to struggle with it already. I'm not sure if it's just the lag from the recording input or if it's the Goron sword just swinging a little slower than the Master Sword. But it's pretty simple. Just like with Phantom Ganon, what happens is you play tennis with him until he screws up, you hits him, knocks him down, and you swing. Not a terribly difficult battle at all. Okay, come on. So the one thing that sucks about that part is sometimes that volley can go on for a long time. Really can. Now, probably... Yeah, there we go. So when he starts charging this bad boy up, you need to use your dark spin. The nice thing is it's a guarantee. As long as one of those doesn't hit you, it's guaranteed to knock back and hurt him. And whoop, bam! That is the Ganondorf fight completed. So, fun fact. In the original North American release of the Ocarina of Time, and I used to have one, it was the first copy I'd ever gotten. My aunt actually pre-ordered it as a Christmas gift, I think, that year or something. And yeah, that's when he vomits, it's red, not green. The green came on version 1.1 of the cartridge, which was released a little bit later for, I'm guessing, largely just censorship reasons. But yeah, there's a couple instances throughout the game where like stuff like that has been changed. So yeah, it's a little weird when I see him do that and it's green, because I'm like, that's not what I'm used to, because when I was a kid, red. Oh no! You know, final boss fight, that clearly was not going to be the dead end of the game. That was a little too easy. So yeah, so what Ganondorf is trying to do is he's trying to cause the tower to collapse to take us out. So this part is pretty... it's pretty easy once you've got used to it. It's a little bit tough if it's the first time you're doing it. Just because 3 minutes is a very reasonable amount of time, but if you struggle with the game, then yeah, that timer can drop really easily and not be enough. The biggest thing you want to do is just try to avoid taking damage, because it stops Zelda from walking when you do take damage. She stops and she's like, oh, she's all shocked and blah 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 blah. You're just like, don't worry about the brain damage from me. I'll be fine. You keep going, because she needs to unlock these gates. Now, if you are standing too close to the door, it won't trigger properly. So that's another thing to keep in mind, because you can get caught up losing time waiting to figure out why she's not opening the door. So just stay a little bit back from the door when she approaches it, and that solves that issue really easy. Okay. Go through here. Yeah, and this run back through is just a convoluted version of the path that we'd already taken. Oh, and if you do fall off on the outside, and you plummet to the ground, it'll put you back at the door you just exited, but you won't get the time back. So that's another way that you can lose a lot of time really easily. Okay. Zelda's trapped in fire. And then, again... Okay, yeah, it is Stalfos, I was correct. I'm gonna go out the door, because that's all this. This battle is really honestly the one that's going to really be the deciding factor if you're going to make it out on time. So obviously going through this battle as quickly as you can is kind of important. Don't panic with it. Again, if you panic worrying about the first one reviving, then you just kind of get a little too careless, and then you're just going to make mistakes and cause the battle to roll on. So yeah, just try to stay focused. Do the button mash thing if you want to, or however you find is easiest to take out the Stalfos. And yeah, just like anything else, just breathe and don't panic, because that will cost you more time than anything. Oh, yeah, see that? So she's stopped walking and gone, oh no, oh no. It's like, concussion's a concussion. It doesn't mean anything if we're still in the tower when it falls. Let's keep moving here. Being careful. Trying to. So yeah, as you can see, if you stay on top of it... oh, that's already dead. Yeah, that's... that's what I was wanting to avoid doing, but I guess this is the game we're playing now, so... and it goes. And it's not that big of a deal, like, the exit is just on the other side of this. So, reasonably, you can still have, like, a minute left when you leave if you do this well. But like I said, of the various tie-ups, the battle, and just little things like that, that minute that I'm over can disappear very quickly. So, yeah, just be mindful of that. We've escaped the tower on time. Oh. It's never a good thing when a pile of rubble starts making noise. Oh, he mad. yeah, now we have Ganon, which Legend of Zelda fans of the franchise from the beginning, this is the most common enemy they know, the original enemy, Ganon. Ganondorf, it's a factor that just kind of gets lost in the fray. Ganondorf's a new character to this game. He didn't exist in the universe before. So, Ganon is not a particularly tough fight. I will say one thing, as you would expect from a final boss, if he does hit you, he'll hit you like a dump truck, so try not to get hit, especially if you're on a 3-heart challenge. But to be perfectly honest, if you use the light arrows, it will stun him, lock on, make sure you've got your sword out, jump attack his tail, and you're just going to rinse and repeat this process. Again, it's not a terribly difficult boss fight. You can also go through his legs if you're in position for it. But yeah, it's using, you also don't have to use the light arrows, but these are why I picked up the potions, just in case. I don't think I should run out of magic, I wouldn't think. But yeah, if you... There you go, so you see, he doesn't have to be stunned. He can be actively attacking you, and if you just stay out of the way, nope. And he's not too big of a problem. You're jump attacking, a little bit weird in this arena. I found it, for some reason, it just doesn't always seem to want to work. I think it's just from the sheer size of Ganon. Fun fact, this battle was actually designed to be more of like a, what was it, the Shadow of the Colossus, whichever game that was on PlayStation. I was designed to be a battle much more akin to something like that. But unfortunately, when they went to go design Ganondorf to be that large, the hardware of the N64 just couldn't handle it. It would just melt from trying to process that much or that big of a character. So they wound up opting for this, which I think is why this battle isn't tougher than it is. I think that would be something that would be, you find out your technical limitations, and then you have to pull an audible. So. And when you have to pull an audible last second on a boss, that can really cause problems with obviously designing the boss, and generally then you find simplicity takes it. So now that we're done the first part, big shocker, the first part is no different, or the second part's no different than the first part. What I'm gonna do, I take one of these blue potions, not so much for my health obviously, more for the magic, but I mean, I digress. It's oh, guess I didn't get back in the arena in time. Yeah, I mostly just went for the blue potion because, like, it's right there as you get to the end. So it's like if you want to do a final stock up, then right there, might as well spend the money. Move that up. Yeah, again, you can just roll between his legs if you want to, but I'm not really having much issue just going around him, other than coming back to the jump attack. So, whoa, he is way too close. That's gonna hurt if he hits me. The nice thing is because he's so big, he's not really that quick. If you just roll attack, you can do this also as well. One thing to keep in mind with part 2 of this battle, so the part that I'm currently in, once you've received the Master Sword, you do have to use the Master Sword to take him out. If you use any other weapon for this part of the battle, it will go on endlessly. It will not trigger the end of the battle, so... Come on, there we go. Aha. And in that first part, you don't have to use specifically the Big Goron Sword. If you didn't bother collecting the Big Goron Sword, then your Megaton Hammer is absolutely an option. So don't stress that you won't have something if you haven't collected the Big Goron Sword. Okay. So... this is the final blow. Again, you have to use the Master Sword for this. If you do switch weapons, then all it's going to do is just cut over to the Master Sword for the cutscene. It's pretty simple. Just walk up and tap B. Once I do that, it's just going to trigger a cascade of events and cutscenes, and then there's really not a whole lot of point. I'm not going to narrate the cutscenes, as you've noticed the last couple episodes. I just kind of put the narration to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press B, trigger the cutscenes. I will let them play through, and then once the cutscenes are done, we'll come back to it. Okay? Okay, so that was officially the final scene of the story mode. Now we're just on the credits. So this was a lot of fun to do. There are some people that are going to point out that I haven't done a couple things for a true completionist. One of them is a track race in Lon Lon Ranch. I might do a clip video of it some point when I play the game again. The reason that I am not gonna do that one is because the only prize that it gets you is a cow in Link's house that you can just get Lon Lon milk from, which is fine and dandy and all, but it's really janky and the timing on it is really tight, so it's one of those things I really struggle with and didn't want to have to sit there and fight with it. So that is one thing you can do before the end of the game at some point. Once Lon Lon Ranch is returned to normal, is you can go do that. It's a 2-lap race. You have to beat it in under 50 seconds. That sounds easier than it is by a long shot. So yeah, that is one thing that I haven't completed. I have done it many times before. I just did not want to fight with it as another hurdle through my first ever playthrough. The other thing is you can go to the pond in Lake Hylia, and there is something you can obtain called the sinking lure, and it basically invalidates everything you catch after that, and it's the only way to catch the heaviest possible fish in the game, I believe. So that is another thing that I'm not bothering to grab. So those are two things that I have omitted this time around. If I ever do decide to do an updated playthrough of this later on, then I may include those at that point. But yeah, other than that, that was all 100 Skulltulas, every heart piece, all the upgrades. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish letting the credits play through, and then once we're at the end of the credits, I'm just going to give you guys an update on what I plan to do following this playthrough and what you can expect to come from the channel following, again, my first playthrough. So yeah, so just sit back, enjoy the music and the credits, because you absolutely have to give credit to, you know, the massive teams that put games like this together. And yeah, I'll come back at the end of the video. Okay, so that is the end of all of that. So yeah, I'm a big believer that let the credits roll through because again, a lot of people that um, do a lot of work to provide games to us, and especially back then when communication and things like that were so much more difficult. Like that, they had to go through some pretty big backflips. So I don't mind letting the credits play through. But all of that aside, we are officially done the Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time, and this was so much fun. I obviously very much do, and I've pointed this out through the playthrough a couple times. I will get to Majora's Mask at some point. It is not going to be the next thing I play through. I'll guarantee that. Just to break it up a little bit, I'm hoping before the end of 2024, which is when this is going up. If this is further into the future and it's already posted or whatever, you can ignore all that part. But I am hoping before the end of the year to do that. A couple other things that I'm considering with the channel is different kinds of games to play. Obviously, some of them I want to have story structure based, like Legend of Zelda games or Pokemon games. I'm looking at various, whether they're newer games or new games, older games, because my collection is quite um, um, not a big collection, but I do have the original hardware, which is what this was played on. So these are all things that I'm factoring in uh, to how I'm gonna decide playthroughs. I will have at least one main playthrough going at a time. There could be extra smaller playthroughs or individual intended videos that go up as I'm going through a playthrough, just to kind of create a little bit of variety. So some games I'm considering with that are games like Duel Links Pal World is well, at the time I'm recording this is still a relatively new and popular game. And sorry, it wasn't Duel Links, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. So like I'm looking at various ways to have different kinds of playlists and stuff going that I can ideally, hopefully, manage pretty well. If you do have any thoughts or ideas or any game suggestions that you would like to see, just drop it down in the comments section down below, and I can take a look into when, if it's a game that I would enjoy or would want to do to add, and you would like to see it, then that obviously will help put out content that people want to see. Um, and getting towards the end of this playthrough, I thought I had a better idea of what I'm going to do next, but it will not take long before I do get that going. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where that's at. Again, this is the my first playthrough. It's just a start to it. As I've gone through this, I've found that using a video editor has gotten easier, so that kind of opens up the ideas for games that I can try to record, because chopping things up and making them nice is gotten easier throughout this playthrough. So that's one cool skill that I didn't have before I started this. Um, do expect that I could start live streaming, which is where I started with all of this. Again, over on, I'm guessing, Twitch. I don't know. I haven't really decided that. If I do start that, then I'll make sure that that's noted somewhere on the channel if you guys uh, want any updates on that. And yeah, so that's where we're at with that. Again, thank you so much for supporting the playthrough and the channel, just like every other video. If you did like the video, please drop a like. It helps a ton. If you really liked it and you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to do that on your way over to the next video. And until the next playthrough, thank you and all the best.